Welcome back to the Crow's Nest. I am the One-Eyed Crow, and today we have another MetaZoo update. First off, let's talk about the Kickstarter. It was funded in about 15 seconds. It's been out for a week now. It now has $1.5 million invested, with over 4,600 backers. For add-ons, we've seen things like full sheets of all of the playing cards for each set, which is really cool. I did not get those myself. I did, however, get the full sheet of promo cards that they offered. We don't know what those look like yet, but I'm really excited for those. Of those promo sheets, Mike has said he's going to sign 100. There was 2,000 printed, so 5% of those will have a Mike Waddell signature on them. They've also done a few rounds of signed art cards from the artists, and all of the proceeds of those go to the artists themselves to help them out. There's been talk about a few stretch goals. One of them is complete. Each deck will have one holo card in them at random, which is pretty cool. I don't know how I feel about that yet, because that does mean that there's going to be one card in each deck that I'm not going to want to play with if I wanted to use these cards for real play rather than just collecting. So I'm on the fence about that one because it turns it more into a collector's deck than a playing deck, which I think kind of conflicts with the idea of what it is. But knowing MetaZoo, there's going to be alternative purpose for these cards. The other stretch goals that they're talking about, which I'm really excited for, is Metalux Backing, which will have a metal backing to the cards. That looks really nice. I'll post an example of that over on the side. And we also have the option to do gilded cards, which I'll post over on the side, which kind of gives a golden inlay to the cards, makes them look a little more premium. The other big thing for the Kickstarter is that they've announced that on day one, these cards will be PSA gradable. They did also announce that BGS will grade these, but I know people tend to hold PSA at a higher regard here. They also teased one word last week, eBay, and since then they have announced that there is an eBay partnership in the works. I don't know what that's going to look like yet, but they did mention, for example, that they're looking into when buying a MetaZoo product through eBay's authentication process, that you'll get a MetaZoo promo card with that. Another thing that was mentioned in the chat was that there could also be special boxes, such as a MetaZoo eBay Wilderness box. This wouldn't be a booster box, most likely, but something like the 10-card promo boxes that they do from time to time. That could be pretty cool, but I'm not sure how the eBay kind of fits in with the theme there, so we'll see what that turns into. So there's definitely a lot more details that need to be worked out with the eBay partnership. At this time, really nothing kind of set in stone yet. I'm really interested to see where this goes because MetaZoo has been very strict on their policy in their Discord about talking about the secondary market, and the secondary market is eBay and TCG Player. Shortly after that, they announced another one-word update in the announcements page, Fanatics. Now for this, I actually have a couple theories. One of them is that Fanatics has recently bought Topps, so it could simply be that the Wilderness top set that's coming out is going to be a Wilderness Fanatics set or has Fanatics branding on it. However, there was something else that was mentioned in an offhand comment by Mike in one of the chats about an acquisition. So not to start any rumors, but I wonder if there is an acquisition in the background. He does like to drop little hints here and there of Fanatics buying MetaZoo. And here I go starting the rumor mill. And this wouldn't be a MetaZoo news update without talking about Walmart. The Walmart cards were released early. They were not released on the 7th. I think the first day that I heard about them being released in-store, found in-store, was the 5th. I have been to my store. I couldn't find any, but I need to continue to look for those. So I do want to get a couple of those boxes. One interesting thing with these boxes is that they gave Walmart sealed CN2 booster boxes, which had box toppers in them. Walmart chose to seed those box toppers into the Walmart boxes. So people have been pulling box toppers out of their Walmart boxes, which also means that there is the possibility of getting a blue ink from these boxes, which is really interesting. I think that's ultimately going to hurt the point of these boxes too, because people that are trying to collect these cards, people that know about it already, they're now going to be going out and getting these in droves. They're going to be getting cases of them. They're going to grab all that they can. When really what I think that the ultimate goal should be with these boxes is to expand the market, to get more people to realize what MetaZoo is, get them interested, get them hooked. By including the box toppers, which was not MetaZoo's choice, by the way, this was something that Walmart chose to do, it's going to encourage the collector market to go out and snatch these up, thus defeating the purpose of getting these into the general public's hands that don't know what MetaZoo is at this time. So let me know in the comments below, were you able to find any of these boxes yet? And if so, if you don't mind sharing where you found those boxes so other people can read the comments, and if they're nearby, go get some themselves. I am recording this on Monday the 7th, so today was the day that the Valentine's boxes dropped. They did drop about 3 hours earlier than I expected. I thought they were dropping at noon Eastern time. They actually dropped at 9 a.m. Eastern time. I was able to get some. They sold out within 6 hours, so by 3 p.m. Eastern time, they had sold out of these boxes. I just checked the website, and they are restocked, so this is a good sign. If you haven't gotten any yet, check the website. You actually still might be able to get some before people realize that they're back in stock. And those boxes are $15. They ship immediately, so hopefully they get here before Valentine's Day, and they have 4 one-card promo packs in each of them. So if you're lucky enough to get a unique card per pack, you'll actually need 3 boxes to complete the set. So another thing that was teased in the official Discord were these early equity cards that Mike had produced. They're actually a really interesting idea. I think it's like a first draft of metal cards, which is really interesting. I'll post these over on the side so you can see what they look like. There was actually 3 of them. There was the Kets, which was the 0.001% equity of the Cryptid Nation sales. There were 2,500 of this particular equity card, which would equate to about 2.5% of the profits of Cryptid Nation. Next up, the silver tier was the Piazza, which was 0.01%. Of these, there was about 250 expected, which is another 2.5% of the proceeds of Cryptid Nation. And the third one, obviously, was Mothman. This was 0.1% equity. There was only 200 of these planned to be printed for a grand total of 20% of the Cryptid Nation profits. So the idea with these was to give back to the community, and obviously they scrapped this idea. Mike had mentioned that things kicked off with the NFTs better than expected, and they went a different route. One thing to say here is that these will not be released as equity cards, but they may be released as kind of a piece of history, which would be really interesting to own. They obviously wouldn't give you any equity in the company, anything like that, but very interesting part of the early formation of ideas for the company. And the last thing that I really want to talk about today is the Orlando Collecticon tournament. They did release what that tournament's going to look like. It's the best of 1, so you and your opponent play 1 game, and whoever wins, wins. You'll get points for winning, tying, and losing. I assume losing is actually going to be 0 points. And then after however many rounds it takes, they'll get down to the top 8 players, and that will be best of 3 with eliminations. The really interesting thing with this tournament is that there will be 7 tarot cards active at all times. So at all times, you will have city, ground, lake, ocean, river, swamp, and winter. And these were all chosen because these are biomes that Orlando has around it or in it. So the Collecticon is really the battleground, and they're using these 7 terras to describe the Orlando biome. On top of that, before each round, they will have a representative go outside and see what the weather's like and the time of day. So those are your base 7 terras for the game, but there are going to be additional terras on top of that. So your daytime, your nighttime, stars, rain, fog, whatever is actually happening outside at the time. So while the 7 will be active at all times, there will be additional ones active. Now, the 7 terras is really interesting to announce ahead of time because this is really going to affect the types of decks that you're going to see at the tournament. More on that in a second, because there is another thing that they're doing for this tournament that's really going to affect the deck layout. There will be 12 fourth wall effects in play at all times as well. They've decided that the American flag, bananas, bug-like figure, city known for sewer alligators, felled tree, fishing pole, man-made tunnel, mosquitoes, NASA symbol, real clouds, real boat, and real tree will also be active at all times. And because there's so many fourth wall effects, instead of bringing the normal allowed, I think it's 4 fourth wall effects with you, you can only bring 1 additional with you. So between the 7 terras and the 12 default fourth wall effects, you're going to be seeing cards like Uncle Sam, Napa Rebobs, Wood Devil of Coos County, Bunny Man, Sewer Alligator, and Amikuuk making an appearance as important parts of the deck because they're going to have these effects in play at all times. So I'm really interested to see how that tournament turns out. I'm really interested to see how the Terras and the fourth wall effects that are always active plays into the decks that are going to be brought there. If you do plan to participate in the Orlando Collecticon, good luck. Use this information to help you build your deck. The information that I got for all of this was based on the MetaZoo University Twitch stream that they did a couple days back. If you'd like to see that, there's a link in the description below. I highly recommend it. They did actually sit down with Mike Waddell and play against him. It's a bit lengthy of a stream, but really fun to watch and interesting to see how they build their decks. At the end of that stream, they did drop 2 wilderness spoilers. I'll put those on the side over there so you can see what those look like. One was for Ohio Grassman, which is a beastie Sasquatch. An interesting thing about this card is that you can't contract it without a blade of grass in the arena, so one of your fourth wall effects should be a blade of grass if you want to play that. And as time goes on, I think this is going to be a staple in Sasquatch decks. The second card they teased in that stream was Lizard People, which is a cosmic alien card. Really interesting card there. I'm sure we'll see that be very important in the months to come, especially with UFO coming out and alien beasties being more prevalent. Some updates from my side. I am actually working on setting up a series for How to MetaZoo, which is going to be a run through of the rulebook, and I'm trying to break it down in a series of smaller videos that are a bit more digestible. So the first part of the series is going to be on simply the vocabulary of the game, which is different than some of the other games and how that relates to what people might be used to. The second part of that series will focus on the auras and how they interact with each other. MetaZoo is very interesting in the fact that not every aura has a weakness. So I really look forward to doing this series, helping people learn the rules and get used to the game and grow that community not only on the collecting side, but on the how-to side. As always, I would like to thank my patrons for their support. It really does mean a lot to me and it helps me grow the channel. If you'd like to do your part to help grow this channel, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. That is the most helpful thing that people can do at this time. If you'd like to see more videos in the future, hit the bell icon and get notified of new videos coming in. And if you really want to go that extra mile, leave some comments below, start a thread, get talking to your fellow MetaZoo lovers in the chat. That'll help the video grow and ultimately help grow the number of subscribers on this channel. So with that, I would like to say thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time.